Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we've got a map which, first of all, is apparently upside down, judging by the screenshots. And it's upside down for a very specific reason. That is, I always rotate maps exactly the same way for every single episode. And so if the map is upside down, it's because it would have been upside down for anybody else's map that was made the exact same way. So anyway, we will look at it the right way up when we get down to ground level. It's inspired by a movie, The Last Airbender, a film I've not seen, but if you've seen it, maybe you'll see the inspiration for this map. Today's second map is the requested Patreon map, requested by one of the greatest creators of all time. It's a snowfall map which isn't a snowfall map. More about that later. First of all, this. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Right, today's first map is Serpent Passage by HgTuahh. Right, if you recognise the name HgTuahh, there's a good reason for that. We reviewed them in episode 1429. Here's your start square. On that occasion, they got a very solid 10 stars. Nothing wrong with that at all. 2 3s and a 4 make 10. Terrain heights. Let's a wiggly ridge running right the way across the middle of the map. It's very aesthetically pleasing, I have to say. Resources are good and strong, and with these resources you can make out the dragon's or serpent's head in the top left of the corner there. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map looks like that. Not the most exciting, but it's not always about the fishing. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Also, we've got a 2-lane country road, some sandy rocks, some mountain grass, and the Waiheke map theme, along with, of course, the realistic 1.2 LUT, because nothing else has been prescribed. And that's it. Are you ready? Yeah, me too. Down to ground level. It's a very pleasing map. I'm not talking about a map which is complete eye candy, a complete wash of beautifulness every which way you look. Because it's not, well, it's not really intended to be, but it is it's a design piece. It's a design piece that looks pretty dang good. It really does. And not only that, it's been done to a decent standard. And not only that, it's playable as a map. You know, sometimes these design pieces, it's all about the design and it's less about the map making, or sort of the city building. Well, on this one, it is about city building. I mean, a little bit restricted. If you're going to have one grumble about the map, I guess it's here. I suppose if we had a node controller in operation, we could make those lanes just look a little bit smoother. We have, of course, got the intersection marking tool in operation, and so the intersection marking is fine. It's fine. Again, it could be pushed up a notch if we were that worried about these things. On this particular map, I don't think it's something I'm going to worry too much about, but I could spend some time showing you. Yeah, it's the usual things like line width and stuff like that we could talk about. Anyway, at this point, the highway splits, and one goes on one side of the mountains and one goes on the other side of the mountains, coming back to say hiya and how you doing every now and then, like about here at this intersection. See, they come back together very sweetly. And then these then connect down to a national road that goes around the outside of the map in bits and pieces. It's very neatly done. It's very neatly done. In fact, to get to the start square, you do want to drop down, not at that intersection there, but when we go over across the next bridge, you'll need to get down from that bridge. I can't remember exactly where the intersection is. I'm sure we'll see it. So at the moment, my head is still full of mush, as you can probably imagine. It's I'm not going to talk over it again, but yeah, it's not been a very good week, and I am recording this still only 48 hours after the events of the weekend, so I'm struggling a little bit to even just remember what my name is. So I've got a script. I'm BonBonB. You're very, very welcome. I'll read that just in case I ever forget. But yes, it's yeah, you'll need to drop down onto one of those national roads after the next bridge to get down to the start square, and we'll route down to there. There's no rail on this map, so if you want a proper rail enthusiast, it's not a rail map. It's highways and shipping, good shipping, and possibly air routes as well. If you want to get an airport down here, I don't see why you wouldn't. Anyway, I'm just taking my time over this because it's just a nice snaking pass. You see, it's a Serpent's passage. There's a real snaking road. It's a really nicely done design piece. I'm taken back, of course, to so I would say Salamander, the Salamander map. Who was that again? Immy. It was Immy, wasn't it? Yeah, the big lizard. Anyway, you break off at this point to go down to the start square, so let's do that. Here's your start square, buildable area. That's pretty buildable. I'm okay with that. It looks pretty reasonable. It's just some interesting shapes in there. Nice little lake to work yourself around. The mountains to help shape things as well. And of course an interesting coastline. I mean, you don't get much more interesting than the coastline on this map, so all credit for that. Then we have this is the highway on the other side of National Road on the other side. A little bit of stone detailing on that little peninsula there as well. And then if we head down this side, we will come across a couple of the essential lighthouses. This is for the BonBonBingo players. Link is in the description. Yep, you win nothing, but it can be fun to play. Anyway, we've got one there in orange. And then there's another one over here, which, again, this does look like some sort of jetty that's been built out. Jetty just almost doesn't quite work for me. It's probably a bit too wide for my taste. But anyway, it's still strong. It's still well detailed, and I can't find any fault with it, apart from personal taste. And personal taste is different in everybody. So you probably love it. Let me know in the comments if you do. Right, if I pull the camera back, we can get a view of the map as a whole, because we're looking to find... Right, so it's upside down. Let's spin this around. And it's meant to be this way up. You can see we've got the Serpent's head up here. Because when you get down there, you don't even notice. Look at how just ordinary that is. It's just like some hills, isn't it? You would never know. It's only when you pull back you get the full effect of the design piece, and it's very nicely designed. You know, we've got little river areas, we've got good coastlines, we've got, could be like a possibly, is that a wing maybe? Not quite sure. Anyway, shipping routes. We have shipping routes. They cover the entire map. One on each side, shipping triangles in the middle, all those things that you want. And I guess we're going to find our start square, have a little look for water flow. Again, water flow isn't a big problem here because we have the lake in there, and although there isn't really any water flow here, you've got a wide coastline to get access to as well. So pumping and drawing shouldn't be a huge problem. Just be a little careful. Always be a little careful. Don't recklessly immediately stick your water source at the bottom of a waterfall, but your sewage at the top of the waterfall. Yeah, that's just kind of dumb. Anyway, this is really pretty. I gotta say, this is really pretty. I mean, I don't buy into it as a marsh or a swampy area, but in the context of this particular map, I think this fits absolutely perfectly. I'm not blown away, but it's really pretty, and it's absolutely perfect. It's a perfect fit for what it needs to be. And we've got lots of lovely little detail areas like here as well. We've got a little cottage just a little bit away. I mean, it's quite a long way actually. It's a long footpath. Down to the pond for a little bit of fishing. I'm all for that. Mind you, I've never been fishing. Well, I went fishing as I went fishing as a 13-year-old and I've never been since. It wasn't my thing. So bored. I was so bored after 5 minutes. Liking this little shape area as well with the old dunes. And then we've got some log paths down here, which is a very nice thing to see as well. Hopefully they are secured down, because otherwise they're just going to wash away with the next tide. But yeah, I imagine they're secured down. That's very pretty. And this is very nice as well. This again for the BonBonBingo players. Yes, we have rocking and holing all day long. Nice little water spawn point there, and I think that works very well with that. Now, some areas just lack any wow factor. So when you're going, why didn't you give this 5 stars for aesthetics, BonBon? Well, you get some areas like this that just don't pop. Really, they just I mean, it's a lack of detailing on it or something. And here, these two green islands, I mean, they're okay, don't get me wrong, I have nothing to complain about with them, but are they 5 stars? That I would say no. This one over here, maybe on its own, it seems to have had a little bit more love put into this one. Yes, we've got the resources painted down there as well, but yeah, the big one just seems to be lacking a little bit of interest. We do have a quarry, a nicely done quarry. I have no grumbles with that at all. Plus, this is a really my favourite little featurette on the map is here. We've got a little river system with, again, the abandoned cottages. And it's, when I say river, it's like a bendy canal. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what I imagine the Netherlands to be like, with little waterways like this reaching up to little cottages, and you get your boat and you sail down to the next cottage down the way. It's a nice thought anyway, even if it's not strictly how the Netherlands works. Little pier there with parking in place so people can go and do some sea fishing. I guess that's what that's about, maybe. And one last thing to look at is the old vanilla fence here, the industrial vanilla fence, being put along here to stop you accidentally crashing off of the cliff. And I appreciate that one. I mean, there is a little bit of overlap here and there on those fences, but you're going to get that somewhere. I probably would have tried to hide the overlaps under the bridge, maybe. But then I probably would have looked under the bridge and found them and complained about that. So you know me, I'll always find a reason to moan. But what about you? Are you going to moan about this map? Let me know. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, but make sure you're voting on the right map, because there are 2. Okay, what do I think of Serpent Passage by HgTuahh? Well, it's definitely striking and memorable and quite nicely done. Do I feel that I can push this map above middle 4? Oh, it's so tempting. I don't know that I can. I'm going to go down the middle on a middle 4. A very strong score for a very strong visual map. Detailing, it's okay. I'm feeling it doesn't quite hold up quite as high as the aesthetics, so I'm going to go 4 stars, but lowish. And then gameplay potential, I think I'm going to match that score. It probably could do with a bite more buildable space, but the inspiration to have to want to build on this map is there, so it's getting 4 stars. I'm going to go towards the lower end. Serpent Passage by HgTuahh. Very nice, 4 stars across the board, and that normally will get you the BonBonB seal of approval. And today is a normal day, so you're getting a BonBonB seal of approval. Anyway, we've got a special map coming up as requested by one of the greats of the map making community. And so on with part 2 of the show, and a real life location reimagined, as voted by the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and originally suggested by Cities, who you may have heard of. They do know a thing or two about maps. What they probably know about this map is it's normally covered in snow and it's been reimagined as a temperate, and with no road or rail. It's one of those maps where you have to have your unlocks, a little bit of modding there to enable you to have harbours from the off and maybe airports from the off. Real life location time. It's not all bad, it's Svalbard by Ingifrithur. Now, of course, Svalbard is that very icy bit of Norway right up the top end, and they have the grain store, that place, and all the seeds. There's your start spot there. The terrain heights, it's a rugged map, but with buildable spots, which is the important thing. We've got no resources apart from trees. I think I would have liked a little bit of ore on there somewhere. It would have made it a little bit more interesting. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's mostly about the shellfish with a bit of anchovies here and there. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, there's a generic tree pack, the regular trees 4-pack, the giant pine, and the service rock pack. Recommended the 81 tar mod, and also I would say all the stuff that'll unlock things for you, because there's no outside connection. All the information is there on the description page. So yes, it's one of those that you can't play a regular game on it, because you've got to unlock the harbours. So just bear that in mind. Don't waste your time otherwise. If you're prepared to go unlocking things, then that is cool. So anyway, the map is. I'm not so bothered about this island here. This is way out away from the main buildable area, but you can see it looks a little bit clunky, that island. Let's head down this way. This is more of a buildable spot, isn't it? I would say, and the beaches are sort of okay. Got the old vanilla glitching with the old alpha channel on the sand. It's an ugly thing. An ugly thing. And I reckon there's probably things that we can do, and we'll come back to sand. But yeah, there's probably things you can do to make it slightly less ugly. For example, like not choosing this theme, going with a custom theme maybe. Lots of rugged land where you won't be building. It is nicely rugged. Give a little bit of credit for the nicely rugged land. Where it's not rugged, and we see the little painted with the old hedges, tree hedges. Those are the buildable areas, and those buildable areas, there are enough of them to make it, like I say, a bit interesting. Okay, down here, I like the shape of this island. Now, forgetting about the glitching of the sand, the shape of the beach is quite nice. I don't 100% buy into the transition between the beach and the cliff edge there. I don't hate it completely, but I don't buy it completely. And same a little bit over this way as well. And there's definitely a bit of, you can see the old digitization going. You can see the square of the digitization going on. It's almost like steps, isn't it there? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now, again, here we go. We've got a shelf running along here. I know you can get shelves, underwater shelves. It's a thing that happens. But I don't buy into that particular one. There'll be one a bit later on which is a little bit better than that one. The rock painting, there's quite a few of them, and it's used to good effect. Yep, good effect on this one. I like the way that the rocks have been added onto the cliff edges. Now, while we're here, let me grab a rock, because I want to show you something. I think this might work. I've not tried it, but I think it might work. You know what I said about the sand glitching? How about if we cover the edge a little bit with just some of these surface rocks, just to hide the glitching a little bit? I think that's one way of doing it. I mean, maybe some foliage might be a better way of doing it. Or like I say, my best selection, my best suggestion is just to choose a different theme, because like I say, the sand with the vanilla temperate just is horrible. And I hate saying it, because temperate is my favourite sort of theme, and the vanilla temperate. Some of the other vanilla themes aren't too bad with the sand, but yeah, this one, no good. All these years on, still no better. Now here's a shelf that I don't mind so much. It still needs a little bit of work, but we've got a little bit of a shelf around there which looks workable. And got the ridges underwater there. We'll look at some ridges over here, I think. These ridges, you can very clearly see the digitization as well from the original height map. I feel that most of the map could do with a little bit of underwater smoothing, like here. I like the general shape of this. You can actually see like the lines, the curves of the lines are really nice. But then, and I don't mind it being a little bit bumpy and a little bit jaggedy here and there, but it just looks like it hasn't been worked at all. Like over here as well, this is a bit of a sandbank over here, but the sandbank just looks very square in places and very digital. So again, I just feel like it should be worked just a little bit, just softened up a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. All told though, nice set of island shapes to work on and to build on. There's that to be said. I haven't had a look at the shipping routes. Hang on. Shipping routes. Try that again. Get rid of move it. And there's your shipping routes coming up now. Let's have a look. We've got one over here, which we've got a bit of a right angle turn on that, but at least you can get in between the island up that way. So at least that's a good route. Just needs a shipping triangle to be smooth. And then you got this one, which dead ends here, and probably another one. Yeah, there's another one up the other side as well, with another right angle on it about halfway up. Water flow, again, not that it really matters because 81 tiles and you can pump and draw from wherever you like on the map. But if you do want to do it this style, yes you can. You've got this split, you can pump from one side, draw from the other. You won't have any problems with that at all. Which is something. Okay, but yeah, just remember this is a map for those you're going to want to have your unlocks in place and get access to your harbour and all that sort of stuff way before you could do normally. But what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, but make sure you're voting on the right map. Okay, what do I think of Svalbard by Ingifrithur? Ingifrithur. Yeah, anyway, what do I think of it? Yeah, it's nothing spellbinding. It's an interesting concept to go with Svalbard in temperate format. I'm good with the idea. I feel the map needs some work to really polish it up a little. Probably would look better as snowfall, to be fair. I'll give it 3 stars, but bottom end. Detailing, yeah, it needs work. It needs work and quite a bit of it. 2 stars middle. Sounds reasonable. Gameplay. Well, given that we've been forewarned what we need to do to be able to play it, you can't play it as a regular style game. As a unlock all sort of game, lowish 3 stars. It could work. Not inspired. Svalbard by Ingifrithur. It's probably Norwegian for BonBon. Learn how to pronounce Norwegian. Or something. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing, and thanks to Di for the suggestion. I don't know why you come with that one, but I'm glad you did. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and for helping the channel grow. Now, if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and now elite. Use the word of the day in the comments, score yourself some population points just for fun, and I'll be back on Friday with another watch map. All things being well, because things are still upside down. Thanks for watching. See you soon.